So has God ever told you to do something that you didn't want to do, but you know you got to do it?
Yeah, like literally this morning.
Ooh, we gonna find out in the next 10.
Here we go. Today's episode is brought to you by Logos. Learn more about the world's best Bible study software at logos.com/themove.
Welcome back to The Move, where we're vibing with the book 10 minutes at a time.
In the next 10 minutes, we're looking at John chapter 12, verses 27 to 41.
It's in the description. Read it. We're putting 10 minutes on the clock. We're starting in 3, 2, 1. Dude, you know
where's
what
my car?
You know what, bruh. You know what we overlooked?
What did we overlook?
Okay. Notice in John 12, we're going back just a little bit. Verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
Now, among those who went up to worship at the feast were some Greeks.
Yeah.
So these came to Philip, who was from Bethsaida in Galilee, and asked him, "Sir, we wish to see Jesus." Philip went, told Andrew. Andrew and Philip went to told Jesus, right?
Okay.
Now, Jesus, verse 24, he talks about a grain of wheat.
Dying and bearing fruit.
A grain of wheat. Philip goes to Andrew. Andrew comes to Jesus. Wheat.
You're making a connection there, and I don't see it.
Philip goes to Andrew. Andrew goes to Jesus. Wheat, bread, Andrew, Philip, feeding the 5,000.
Oh, John chapter 6.
Bro, it's the same order.
Ah, okay, so cool. What does that have to do with anything?
The bread of heaven is going to be lifted up and draw all men unto him so they might truly eat that which will give them sustenance.
Oh, so the kernel of wheat becomes the bread of life.
Which is Jesus himself.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
That's not kind of cool. That's not just kind of cool. All right?
Jesus uses like these analogies that touch like everything. And one of the questions I've always been is like, man, how do you come up with all these things?
He
like
read it in the book.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I guess that has to be the answer.
I mean,
that is the answer.
He read it from the book and he heard it from his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? So, verse 27, right? Go.
So now is my soul troubled, and what shall I say? Father, save me from this hour. For this purpose I have come to this hour. Father, glorify your name. I find this text so approachable.
Yeah.
Because, there's times in my life where it's like, man, I got a clear direction on what my purpose is and what I'm called to do, but it doesn't always make it easy or convenient.
Yeah.
And it's almost as though, as Jesus is in this moment, he notices that the path kind of opens up into two roads.
Yeah.
One where it could be like, I don't know, I want to do this. This seems really hard. My soul's troubled. I'm just going to take the easy way out.
Yeah.
Or Jesus can do the thing which he does. And he says, you know what? No, it's not about me. My life isn't my own. The purpose of my life is to give it up so that others might have life. And that's the route that I'm going to go. I'm going to glorify my Father.
And doesn't he say, Father, save? He says, should I say, Father, save me from this hour? But for this purpose, I have come to this hour. So Jesus knows the purpose for which he has actually come.
Mm-hmm. The whole being accused and crucifixion thing never caught him off guard.
No.
He's been talking about it for however many chapters so far.
He knows his purpose. He has a vision for his life, right?
This actually is so interesting because earlier, as I was outside on the phone with a friend of mine.
Say it. I was just about to talk about that.
Were you?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
that's
cool.
Exactly where I was going.
So today, this is a behind the scenes thing and it's a developing thing. And the question is what happens in the future? And the answer is I don't know. But this is the story as of this exact moment. I got a call this morning inviting me into this space where I could consider being a part of a team doing a ministry. It's a job. You got a job offer.
I got a job offer. Seemingly.
I got invited to apply for a job offer.
Yes.
So,
but he's got the inside track.
Yes. So this morning, as I wake up and see the text message, I'm about to call the person back. Father says, Justin, don't call him.
So you, in the secret place, have been receiving the truth.
No, actually, in that moment, it wasn't even a secret place thing.
Hold on, I was going to get there.
Okay, my bad. Sorry. My bad. Okay.
You in the secret place have been receiving the truth of who you are. You've been learning your Father's voice.
Mm-hmm.
So that the moment comes where this thing is happening and he says something to you and you know that that's his voice.
Yeah, I'm about to hit call and Father just says, no, don't call. You're not ready to call him yet. Wait until we can spend time in the secret place. And just given the structure of the day, we're about to go on the road and do this and this and this. And so it was clear that I shouldn't call now because I haven't spent time on the thing. Mm-hmm. Fast forward, I spend time in the secret place. I talk to my Father, and the word that I hear from him is, listen, you're approaching this opportunity and this potential opportunity with the wrong spirit. Your focus is in the wrong place. You've got an idol set up that is not what you're about. Long story short, this thing gets settled for me. And
wait, not long story short. What's the idol?
Okay, so the idol is stability. I mean, this is the thing that I end up writing down. And the story was this, this is a really attractive offer, this idea of being able to have stability and be able to provide for my family. Doing the entrepreneurial, ministerial life from...
Yeah, we don't get a check every 2 weeks.
No,
right?
we don't.
We're by faith.
Yeah, it very much is that. And that's a great way to live a life, and I would have it honestly no other way.
Yeah.
But this offer comes along and it's really shiny and attractive. Like you're saying, I could have a full-time income and I can have stability and I can have this way to provide for my family and all these kinds of things, which is why I was so excited to try and answer the call and put my best foot forward and like hopefully make my way to obtain this job. And God was just like, that's not what you're about.
Here's the deal. You have a purpose for your life.
Yeah.
Justin recently went through a 2-day intensive on a life plan.
With another one of our friends, Brother Ben Lundquist.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Justin, how you doing?
Hey, Justin, how you doing? That's how he talks. And you came up with a very clear purpose for your ministry and call on your life.
Absolutely.
Right? Does today's offer agree with that?
At the initial outset, the answer was no. So having taken that job, I would have deviated from the very path that my Father had called me to.
And he had already revealed it to you in the past. This is the clear purpose, right? And he had revealed it even before the 2-day summit. The 2-day summit just served to reestablish it and give you some clarity on some other things. But this morning, this opportunity comes. Father reminds you, hey, reestablishes it. And then you have to say, just like Jesus, should I take this job and have this idol of stability? No, because it doesn't agree with the purpose that you have for me.
Yeah.
Right? And that's a crazy thing that we get to put on this identity and have intimacy and actually hear the word so that when push comes to shove, when the rubber meets the road, we know how to behave because our Father has directed us, even if it means suffering and struggle.
Yeah, but here's one of the pieces about that that's really cool. I mean, there are many pieces about it that are very cool, but this is another piece that's very cool, in that you learn to recognize and you learn to obey the voice of your Father. Yeah, because you've cultivated that relationship in the secret place, and Jesus talks about if you're faithful in the little, you'll be faithful in much. This one was actually really easy to be faithful on. Yeah. It felt like there was no stakes. Yeah. But there's this other thing that Father told me in the last 2 weeks that I told you about recently that just scares the bejesus out of me.
This was going to be fun.
And I'm not ready to talk about that on camera, but the point is that I'm not ready. I don't, quote unquote, right? Air quotes. I'm not ready for that yet.
Yeah, of course.
But I know that that's what he told me.
Yeah. And there's some other moving pieces that need to come together, but he's spoken it.
Yeah.
This is the direction.
Yeah.
If the other pieces fall into place.
For this purpose, I've come to this hour.
That's what it is.
Father, glorify your name.
Is it going to be difficult?
Yeah.
Is there going to be some suffering involved?
Perhaps.
Might it change your life in ways that you can't even comprehend?
Absolutely.
And yet, how do we move?
We move forward because it's about his glory and not mine.
And what's interesting is the very next thing that happens is that then this question of... the Father affirms it. Mm-hmm. Not this question, but this affirmation that comes.
The voice comes from heaven. I've glorified it. I will glorify it again. But here's the cool part. 29, the crowd standing there like, was that thunder?
And I think that there's a trajectory here that John's getting at, that there's part of the crowd that actually hears it, right?
Yeah, because they say, it was a voice of an angel, clearly.
Right? And I would suggest that part of that crowd is the crowd that's been tracking thus far. I mean, we can go all the way back. We go back to John
Triumphal
8.
procession, witnessing Lazarus, the whole thing, right?
There's a crowd that doesn't run to the religious leaders for their interpretation, but they're believing Jesus on face value and actually receiving the words that Jesus is speaking, so that when the Father speaks, they hear him as well.
That's awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
And so they hear it, and Jesus says again, this voice has come for your sake, not for mine.
Because at the end of the day, Jesus, I mean, it seems as though there's this moment of, what should I do? Nah, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. The voice doesn't even affirm him. Like, Jesus doesn't have to wait for the Father to confirm that which he already knows. Because we do this in life, right?
Yep.
God calls me to do something, and right when it comes up to it,
Give me a sign, God. I need another sign.
like, hold on, I just gave you the sign. You already know. Why are you asking for another sign? Jesus says, this voice wasn't even has come for your sake, not mine.
Yeah.
I didn't even need the affirmation because I'm so dedicated to doing what Father has told me to do. This sign was for you.
So here it is, as we wrap up. You're spending time in the secret place. You're getting to know the voice of your Father. What has he been telling you? What has he been telling you that you know you're called to walk according to the purpose that he has for you? It might be big. It might be bigger. You're supposed to start a YouTube channel, a business, go into ministry. You're supposed to say, hey, I want to marry you to that person. You're supposed to say, hey, I need to break up with you to that person. You need to say goodbye to a business. You need to tell a child that, hey, these are some hard truths. Whatever it is, what's the purpose that God has spoken to you that you need to walk out? 1, listen, do it.
Yeah.
2, if you'd be so kind and if you're willing, please do share below wherever it's possible so that we can affirm and glory in with you and encourage one another.
Because
Yeah?
it's encouraging to know what God is doing in your lives. And we want to know.
Super encouraging. We'd love to know. We'd love to know. So we'll see you in the next 10.
Hey movers, I recently got to travel to the Logos headquarters and ended up recording several tutorials on how you and I can get more from our Bible study using Logos. To see the entire playlist of videos, visit logos.com/themove and get 10% off any Logos 8 product you want. logos.com/themove.